The storm had rolled in faster than anyone expected. Thick clouds swallowed the sky, and the wind moved like a warning across the open fields of Wyoming. Rancher Tom Keller was stacking bales inside the barn when he saw her, a woman, soaked from head to toe, standing alone by the wooden fence. She looked exhausted, shivering, her clothes clinging to her skin as the rain poured harder. Tom stepped out of the barn, his boots sinking into the mud. The woman lifted her face, just enough for him to see the fear in her eyes. And then she said the words he would never forget. "No one wants to give me work. I just need shelter." Her voice cracked, half broken, half hopeful, and that moment changed everything. Before we begin this heartfelt journey, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Soul Tales, the channel where real stories, deep emotions, and powerful reminders of kindness come alive. Your support helps us keep sharing stories that touch the heart and inspire goodness. The woman's name was Elaine Carter, a traveling farmhand who had been moving from town to town looking for seasonal work. She had been turned away so many times she had stopped counting. Some ranches claimed they had no space, others didn't want to hire a woman for heavy labor, and some, though they never said it out loud, looked at the color of her skin and decided she didn't belong there. When Tom looked at her that rainy afternoon, he didn't see trouble or weakness. He saw a human being fighting to survive. "Come on inside," he said gently. "You'll catch your death standing out here." Elaine hesitated. People had often offered her help and then taken it back, or worse, offered it with hidden intentions. But something about the rancher's voice felt steady, solid, human. "You sure?" she whispered. "I'm sure," he replied. "Let's get you warm first." Inside Tom's ranch house, the smell of cedar and brewed coffee wrapped around her. He placed a towel in her hands, then set a mug of hot tea on the table. Elaine's eyes glistened, but she blinked quickly, hiding it. She hated pity. What she needed was a chance, not sympathy. Tom sat across from her. "So," he said, You said you're looking for work?" She nodded slowly. "I can clean, do stable work, fix fences, cook. Whatever's needed. I'm strong. I learn fast. I just need somewhere to stay. Only until I can earn enough to move on." Her voice trembled, and she looked down, embarrassed to sound desperate. Tom scratched his chin. He wasn't a man who made quick decisions, but kindness was a reflex for him, one inherited from his late father. A man who believed that helping someone in need was as natural as breathing. "Well," Tom said, "I'm short on hands this season. You help me around the ranch and you can stay in the spare room. We'll figure the rest out." Elaine stared at him, stunned. No paperwork, no interrogation, no suspicion, just trust. "Why?" she finally asked. Tom smiled softly. "Because everyone deserves a place to land when the storm hits." The next morning, the sun came out bright over the rolling fields. Elaine was up before dawn, already feeding the horses. She worked fast, precise, steady. Tom watched from a distance, impressed by her skill. "You weren't kidding," he said as he approached. "You really know your way around animals." She shrugged lightly. "My granddad raised mules. Hardest worker I ever knew. Taught me everything." Over the next week, something unexpected happened. What began as a simple work arrangement grew into a silent partnership. They patched fences together, cleaned the barn, sorted equipment. They didn't talk much at first, but there was a peaceful rhythm in their teamwork. Tom wasn't used to sharing his ranch with anyone. Since his wife passed 3 years earlier, the house had been painfully quiet. But with Elaine around, laughter sometimes filled the kitchen. Music played from her old portable radio. The silence wasn't so heavy anymore. Still, small-town whispers traveled. One morning at the feed store, Tom overheard 2 men murmuring near the counter. "Tom hired that black woman working the roads last month. You seen her?" "Yeah. Heard she's trouble. Nobody knows where she came from. Tom's too trusting. That's how you get robbed." Tom didn't jump into gossip, but it bothered him. People feared what they didn't know. Elaine had been carrying that weight for years. When he returned to the ranch, he found her repairing a loose barn hinge. Her hands moved confidently, but her eyes looked tired. "Everything okay?" Tom asked. Elaine paused. "Tom, you sure you want me here? I don't want to cause problems." He stepped closer. "You're not causing problems. You're helping me more than you know." She swallowed, emotion tightening her throat. "It's just, people judge so quick. They see my face before they see my work." Tom shook his head. "Well, then they're blind. Anyone who sees you work knows you're the real deal." For the first time in a long time, Elaine felt seen, not as a burden, not as a risk, but as a person. As weeks turned into months, winter began to settle over the ranch. One evening, a fierce snowstorm hit, knocking out the power. The ranch house dropped into darkness. Elaine lit candles and brought blankets. Tom started the old wood-burning stove. The two of them sat at the kitchen table, listening to the howl of wind outside. "You ever wonder," Elaine said quietly, "how different life would be if people chose kindness first instead of judgment?" Tom nodded. "Every day." She glanced at him. "Why'd you help me, Tom, really?" He thought for a moment, choosing his words. "My father once told me, son, you don't give kindness because people deserve it. You give it because the world needs more of it. And I guess I saw someone standing in the rain who needed a door opened." Elaine looked away, wiping a tear she didn't want him to see. "You saved me that day," she whispered. "I was out of money, out of places to try. I didn't know what was next." Tom shook his head gently. "You saved yourself. I just did what any decent human should do." Spring finally arrived, and the ranch bloomed with color. Calves were born, fences were mended, and the days grew longer. One afternoon, Elaine approached Tom with a small envelope. "What's this?" he asked. "My savings," she said quietly. "I've been putting money aside every week. It's time for me to move on. I found a steady job at a ranch 2 towns over. They're offering me training. I want to grow." Tom's heart sank a little. He had gotten used to her presence, her strength, her laughter, her steady hands. "You sure?" he asked. Elaine nodded. "You gave me a new start. Now it's my turn to build something." He handed the envelope back. "Keep it. Use it for your future." "Tom, no arguments," he said with a smile. She laughed softly. "You're stubborn. Only when it matters." Before she left, she hugged him. A tight, grateful hug filled with all the words she couldn't say. "You opened your door," she whispered. "And you opened a part of my life I didn't think I'd ever get back. Hope." Tom's voice was rough when he finally spoke. "Thank you for bringing life back to this ranch." Elaine drove away with the sun bright ahead of her and a heart full of possibility. But every month, without fail, she returned to visit, to help, to sit on the porch and share stories over coffee. Kindness had built a bridge between 2 lives, and that bridge held strong. In a world where people walk past each other with guarded hearts and quick judgments, one open door can change everything. Tom didn't know Elaine's past. Elaine didn't know Tom's grief. All they knew was that kindness needed no conditions, no explanations, no permission. Sometimes the smallest act, offering shelter, listening, giving someone a chance, is the spark that lights a whole new future. And maybe that's the message we should all carry forward. When life gives you a moment to be kind, take it. Because one open door can become someone's miracle.